comic book fans or comic book animation fans, did you know that Freedom Fighters The Ray animated prequel series to the crossover on Earth X from the CW is out? It is, and you should watch it because it's pretty darn good.
I'm in love with a hero. I'm in love with the one who will...
No mystery, I'm a huge fan of The Ray, also known as Raymond Terrell. The character has been out for some time, but recently he's been reintroduced in DC Comics as a gay character. And I'm so happy that that aspect of him also translated over into the Arrowverse TV shows. This is not the first animation to be released from the CW seed. Vixen was another series, which I was a huge fan of that one as well. The series itself consists of 6 different episodes, and each one is approximately 6 to 8 minutes long. This animated series takes place before the crossover happens. In case you didn't read it in the title, major spoilers are about to come through, so if you haven't seen the series, do not watch the rest of this video. In the first episode, the viewer is unaware of the fact that the Ray that we're watching is not the same Ray from the TV show. In fact, this is the Ray from Earth X itself. One of the questions that some people were asking about the Crisis on Earth X crossover is what happened to the other Freedom Fighters. This explains it. Or at least it mostly explains the fact that most of the Freedom Fighters are missing, because it seems as though they've been killed in this series. It also explains why Red Tornado is just a mindless android when he's introduced in the crossover. Supergirl basically injured him to the point where he couldn't be repaired. There's a super battle taking place between the Freedom Fighters and the Nazi supervillains of Earth X, and Ray escapes Earth X and goes to Earth 1 and finds his counterpart with the help of their version of Vi. I love Cisco's character. He is my favorite character out of the entire Arrowverse. The Ray of Earth X is attempting to escape with Red Tornado's neural cortex. And unfortunately though, he's been injured very badly, and when he gives the neural cortex to his counterpart of Earth 1, he also passes on. But this also initiates a transfer of powers from himself to his counterpart. Oh yeah, the neural cortex contains all the information on the Freedom Fighter, so obviously they don't want that to get into Nazi hands. These first few episodes, we get to see Ray of Earth 1 starting to use his abilities and also become a superhero. One of the things the animated series touches on is the Ray's abilities. He's very quick. In fact, he should be as fast as light itself. He's not invulnerable, which he finds out to his dismay, unfortunately. But still, at least we get to see him in action, particularly against some thugs here and there. The series is very blunt on Ray's sexuality, which again is something I'm happy that they didn't shy away from. Although he's still closeted to his parents, which I'm hoping that maybe if there's a season 2 to this, that'll be addressed too. The season ends on a huge cliffhanger where Ray is seemingly taken to Earth X. The only disappointing aspect about this is that it's so short. 6 episodes of 6 to 8 minutes is not enough. Granted, I'm glad that we got it at all, but I am keeping my fingers crossed there will be a season 2. There's no Citizen Cold involved in this one, which makes sense being that most of it does take place on Earth 1. One of the highlights I was most pleased with is the Ray saved a lesbian couple from a would-be homophobic attacker. I mean, he was trying to rob from them, but the whole idea that he was attacking 2 members of the LGBT community and then he was defeated by another member was just something that felt really cool. Russell Tovey returns back as the voice of the Ray, which is something that's also really pleasant. It is a bit odd hearing his American accent, but I do like it. Melissa Benoist, who plays Supergirl in her TV show, also returns back as the voice of Overgirl. I adore Melissa, so I'm ecstatic that she's a part of it. The animation style is really well done. In fact, I can see some of these characters coming to life with real representation of certain people that could play them. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, I love the costume in the animated series much more than the live action version. I mean, they're very similar to each other. In fact, I'm pretty sure the animated version is a take on the live action one, but the helmet, I think, in the animation is so much better. There's a lot of bleakness in this series, especially at the very beginning. But the ray of hope, see what I did there? I'm really thinking that the Nazis will have their asses beaten down. There's a message at the end of this series for the Trevor Project, which is presented by the Ray, which I also thought was a nice little touch to end it off. So, incredible series, so incredibly happy with the way it turned out. If you're interested in watching it yourself, you can watch it on the CWC.com, where it's completely free. Roughly altogether, with commercials included, it's around 40 minutes and you can binge watch the entire thing. And with that, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button. Also hit the subscribe button. I do many videos throughout the week. Check out my Patreon site, my social media sites, my websites, and everything else out there. Peace, love, namaste, and I'll see you guys later.
Always win. He's a prominent figure.
As many fans out there have already stated, I do hope that Russell Tovey's character can return back in between filming of his other series, which he also happens to be on Quantico. But I would love for him to be a regular part of the Legends of Tomorrow. It would give me a reason to watch that series regularly rather than waiting for it to come on Netflix.